respond decisively to Russian attack on Ukraine, which is still very much a possibility. For all the events of the last few weeks and months, this has been our approach, and it remains our approach now. So today I want to speak to the American people about the situation on the ground, the steps we've taken, the actions we're prepared to take, and what's at stake for us and the world.
Washington. The Pentagon will move some of its Europe-based forces further east and deploy additional US-based troops to Europe as the security situation on Ukraine's border with Russia continues to deteriorate. President Joe Biden will send 2,000 troops in the US to Poland and Germany, where they will join other troops. Another 1,000 who are already in Europe will be moved to Romania. These are not permanent moves. We respond to current conditions. We will adjust our posture as those conditions evolve, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said Tuesday, announcing the deployment. Kirby was unable to give a timeline of when the U.S. service members would deploy. The deployment comes as an estimated 100,000 Russian troops equipped with advanced weaponry line Ukraine's eastern border with Russia and northern border with Belarus, a Moscow ally. Kirby explained the 3,000-strong troop deployment announced on Tuesday is separate from the 8,500 servicemembers announced last month. The Pentagon placed 8,500 military personnel on heightened alert to deploy to Europe should NATO activate a response force. The troops represent America's contribution to the 40,000-strong NATO Response Force, or NRF, whose activation requires approval of all 30 NATO members. The troops represent America's contribution to the 40,000-strong NATO Response Force, or NRF, whose activation requires approval of all 30 NATO members. The Pentagon's top officials warned last week that the aftermath of a Russian invasion of Ukraine would be horrific. Given the type of forces that are arrayed, the ground maneuver forces, the artillery, the ballistic missiles, the air forces, all of it packaged together. If that was unleashed on Ukraine, it would be significant, very significant, and it would result in a significant amount of casualties, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff U.S. Army Gen. Mark Milley told reporters at the Pentagon on Friday. Milley, the nation's highest-ranking military officer, said that Russia's posture along Ukraine's border was unlike anything he has seen during his 4-decade military career. He said the Russians have deployed air forces, naval forces, special forces, cyber-electronic warfare, command and control, logistics engineers and other capabilities along Ukraine's border. For months, the US and its Western allies have watched a steady buildup of Kremlin forces along Ukraine's border with Russia and Belarus. The increased military presence mimics Russian moves ahead of its 2014 illegal annexation of Crimea, a peninsula on the Black Sea, which sparked international uproar and triggered sanctions against Moscow. The Kremlin has denied that the troop deployment is a prelude to an attack and has instead characterized the movement as a military exercise. Russian officials have repeatedly called on the US to prevent an eastward expansion of the NATO military alliance. Russia has also demanded that the US shall not establish military bases in the territories of any former Soviet states that are not already members of NATO or use them